The first few weeks of creating North has been, or after the establishment of North, has been tremendously exciting. It's been also very busy, very, very busy. It's a lot more work than I'd ever expected, but it's when it's something you love, it's very easy to just get carried away and immerse yourself into the work. So it's been great all around. The partnership with FC Copenhagen and Nordic Film have been surprisingly professional, or not surprisingly, I'm saying surprisingly because esports in general, I come from a past where esports haven't been the most established or professional industry to be a part of. So coming in and working with people who are all so very good at what they do and are very good at activating themselves instead of listening to or waiting for orders and for things to do is a very cool experience. It makes everything run a lot smoother, and it's just I think it's, for me, it's made the word professional have an entirely new meaning in a very positive way. The name North is, well, it's something that is very much in line with where we are physically. And of course, it's a compromise between Nordic Film and FC Copenhagen. That being said, it's important for us to underline that we are a global competitor. We aren't just Danish, we aren't just Scandinavian, we are not even just European, we're a worldwide competitor. And for us, it doesn't matter where our athletes are from, but rather the results. So if a Brazilian or a team from Singapore or a player from North America is going to be the best, those are the players that we want to have represent us. That being said, obviously, me as a Dane, I would love to work with Danes and Scandinavians in particular because of having deep roots here. The importance of having a team that know each other really well and can communicate together not only in the same language, but also fluently because of how well they know each other is obviously extremely important. It's one of those little things or big things that might give you that extra edge against teams who aren't as in tune with each other as, for instance, say you have a team of 5 friends that are all Danish, that team would probably, if they're skill-wise up to par, would probably have an edge against other teams who have mixed nationalities or aren't as good friends. We see it very often in the world of Counter-Strike, for instance, that teams who quarrel a lot, teams who aren't necessarily friends, seem to have a harder time performing as well, or at least having longevity. And longevity is something that also promotes results, I think. Virtus.pro is a very good example of that. So the extensive experience that management and the team has in esports moving forward is extremely important, because one thing that's been very important for FC Copenhagen going into this project is that they respect where the space in the industry has developed to on its own. And while they want to add all of their proficiencies and all the things they're good at, they still want to respect all the things that esports has grown to be on its own. And with that comes the experience that I myself have, the coach of our team, the players themselves, and so forth. So there's a lot of respect for esports from the football side of things and the management side of things. And all they want to do is just help nurture that side of things. So it's, there's just a lot of synergies that works really well with each other, because football is a sport, an established sport that we can learn a lot from in esports. And that being said, esports is a beast on its own, that you can't just put everything from regular sports and force esports into that box. That's just not possible. So it's a bit of expertise from both worlds that then combined hopefully amounts to being a world-class team. Having talked to a lot of the players on the Counter-Strike squad, I know it's a sort of a childhood dream come true for them to play together under a Danish brand, or rather, so North isn't a Danish brand per se. You know, it's a global, it's a worldwide brand. We're a global competitor, but FC Copenhagen, obviously being one of the parties behind North, it's a huge honor for the players, I think, to play under that name and represent them. And you know, it made it all the lot easier to sign them to begin with. I think it's for a lot of people, home is obviously the respective countries, and being able to play for an organization that is rooted in Denmark means a lot to them. So the ideology behind North is to be a multi-gaming organization that is competing at the highest level worldwide. We're not looking to be Danish, we're not looking to be Scandinavian, we're not even looking to be European only. We want to be the best internationally, regardless of where our players are from. So for us, it's very important to align ourselves with teams such as Fnatic, for instance. That's a team that we're looking to. We're looking to compete with Fnatic, we're looking to compete with Optic Gaming, we're looking to compete with SK Telecom. You know, these are some of the teams that we want to compare ourselves to, and then move past that. We want to be number one, and not just in Denmark, not just in the Nordics, and not just in Europe. So as some of you may know, I've obviously said that we're looking into Dota 2. It's definitely on top of the list, not just because of my personal preference, having a Dota background, but also because the game is just one of the best and biggest titles in gaming and in esports. Aside from that, we obviously are looking into just about any other esports title as well. We want to be a multi-gaming organization, and we want to be a part of the competitions and the tournaments and leagues in all the biggest titles. If that is FIFA or if it's Overwatch, and you know, maybe even League of Legends. Right now it's not on top of our radar, mostly because of the structure involved with it, but we're looking into everything as a possibility, and we're gonna do our very best to be present in everything and everywhere we can be. So for the future of the Counter-Strike team, I think they've already proven throughout 2015 and 2016 that they're a team that improves significantly for each passing month. They won the Epicenter LAN in November. And moving forward, the goal is obviously to win a major, an actual major. So Epicenter is a major title, sure, but you want to win the actual major, the Valve major, and that is what we're striving towards. We want to win tournaments, yes, but we want to win the major most of all, and that requires a lot of dedication and practice. We're going to continue nurturing the talent and improving on the areas that they have been improving on, but also adding other areas such as physical condition, mental condition, and all of these things that the football club can bring into play. So the Counter-Strike team has upwards towards 180, 200 travel days a year. And right before we signed the guys, they had been on the road for 36 days in a row for 4 different tournaments. And it takes its toll. And one of the things that we are very mindful about is not repeating that mistake, because it's gonna hurt results, and ultimately you're gonna have players who aren't as motivated, and they won't be able to deliver and perform on the highest level anymore. And our main priority is winning tournaments through reaching the highest level of play. And if that means cutting out tournaments in order for us to be better prepared for other tournaments, so be it. That will definitely be a sacrifice that we're willing to take. I think you'll see in esports that teams will start prioritizing tournaments and going to a lot less tournaments in order for them to actually be able to deliver on the highest level. In terms of other Counter-Strike teams that are currently performing on our level, teams that we are especially mindful of is obviously Astralis. They're the other Danish team, and they've been the big brother for a long time, and that's a relationship we're hoping to turn around. We want to be the best in the world, and Astralis right now being one of the ones regarded as the very best in the world is one of the teams that we'd have to dethrone alongside, SK Gaming and Virtus Pro, Nasus Vincere, FaZe Clan. All of these teams, we're looking at all of them. Going into the major, it's the most competitive tournament of all time, and I think all of the teams are capable of beating each other. And I'm personally worried that there'll be this Cinderella story, and hopefully we won't be in the way of one of the dark horse teams that might surprise. I think the Danish esports scene has finally started evolving. It's been, to me, a very disappointing decade where esports in Denmark has just stagnated and never really taken off the same way we've seen that it did in Sweden via DreamHack or in Germany via ESL. And Denmark has just never had neither a big competition nor any established teams or sponsorships that are really, want to compete internationally. And it's a shame because we have so many talented players. Denmark's probably one of the best nations in the world at esports. We have great League of Legends players, we have great Counter-Strike players, we have great Dota 2 players, we have great FIFA players. We are in all of the major esports titles, yet the only thing that we seem to be able to produce have been players in the past, not actual tournaments or teams or anything. But that's luckily looking to change. There's a lot more media exposure. There's a lot of attention from sponsors and major corporations who are looking into the esports scene and seeing it as an opportunity for the future, not just a marketing ploy, but an actual worthwhile investment. And that's where I've wanted Denmark to go for the longest time, for the past decade. And now with everything that's going on, both with us and Astralis and such, and Tricked, I really foresee a very bright future for Denmark, and hopefully we can continue this upward trend and be a front runner in esports worldwide rather than being the guy that fell behind.